The past 2 years have been a struggle for all of us, and Queensland welcomed 2022 with more COVID outbreaks and a major flood. Totally not cool. Coming from 4 different projects, virtual production, live performance, museum creative, and Sense Lab, these budding artists can finally kickstart projects they've been developing over the previous year. Hi everyone, I'm Kai Wilson. Come join me behind the scenes with an all-access pass. We'll be exploring the 4 creative practices and the journeys our creative practitioners embarked on. This is an inside look into our world of emerging artists. At the virtual production studio, they've got LED screens, cool camera gear, and even guys in black suits. Let's take a look at this highly innovative and immersive digital world.
Action.
Cool. Awesome. So in one sentence, how would you describe virtual production studio?
Virtual production studio is the combination of multiple disciplines, film, acting, and technologies together to make something interesting.
What's like your role in virtual production studio? What would you say that what's your specialty?
I've been heading some of the technical side of things, like the Unreal Engine technical director side of things and the motion capture technical director side of things, working with the Vicon motion capture so that we can get stuff onto a screen or use environments to tell stories.
Next off, we're headed to the live performance studio to get a sneak peek in front and backstage by our budding actors and talented crew. Hey, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And you were just recently involved in a live stage performance, Angels in America?
Yep, Angels in America.
Yeah, can you tell me about that experience of Angels in America?
It was a lot of work, I think is the big thing. It's a 4-hour play that we had to do in under 3 hours, in 2.5 hours, ideally. But it was a great experience. We had Bridget Boyle obviously directing us, who was just absolutely immense.
So how are your personal experiences taking on a character role completely different from yourself?
Lewis is a gay man in 1985 America, and he's Jewish. I'm none of those. I think for me, a lot of the experience trying to become that character and to try to portray that character in the most authentic, most truthful sense was very much down to the research. Actually understanding the context in which they're living in. A big thing that I found really helps me with that sort of stuff, it's understanding these are ordinary people in extreme circumstances or extreme people in ordinary circumstances. And in this scenario here, I think it's very much a mix of the two, because Lewis is this very extreme character, but he's also found himself in this very extreme circumstance.
Sense Lab, an experiment on the senses where our creators find fun, unique ways to play around with technology. Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. In one sentence, what would you describe Sense Lab to be like?
Ooh, quite complex. Is that one word, one sentence? An immersive exhibition that utilizes technology in a really creative way.
And what sort of projects have you created in Sense Lab this semester?
So, 3 of them. I created 3 artworks. The first one was called Hey Siri. It used the Siri icon and a 3D camera using infrared technology. The second one was Linearity, and it was pretty much 3 sheer materials, from ceiling to floor. And then the third one was called Metamorphosis, and it was a performance work as well as an installation work where it had 2 black drama blocks with matte projections of 2 dance films happening.
And what has your role been this semester in Sense Lab?
So at the start of the semester, it was more just a researcher, and then it switched into performer as well as a digital curator.
Finally, let's look at the museum creative. For you big-time art stands out there, our emerging artists have collaborated with the Queensland Museum to showcase their classy, bougie, thought-provoking works. And they even get to showcase them to the public. How exciting! Hi, buddy.
Hi.
So, in one sentence, can you describe to
Yes.
me what Museum Creative is about?
Well, yes, the project is called Beyond the Museum, and it's an expedition exhibition where basically it provides like the opportunity for audiences to engage with the museum in like a less serious environment. Super cool, super fun, super fresh. And there's gonna be 4 exhibition works on the night.
What are the 4 works? being
So
presented?
one of them is called Murder at the Museum, where basically the audiences can interact with all of the evening's exhibits to find clues and solve the mystery of who the murderer is at the night. There's another one called Single Use Planet, which is basically a piece that kind of explores the impending death of the planet. There's another one called Kitty and Your Inside Friends, which is basically a short point and click game where you basically get to explore human taxidermy. The 4th one, which I got to creative direct, is called Observe, which is a performative visual art piece that explores the complexities of perspective and kind of really analyzes human observation.
Over the past few years, unforeseen events have impacted our way of life. Likewise, our creative practitioners have been impacted greatly. But where there's a will, there's a way. Let's see how our creative people have slayed at improvising, adapting, and overcoming. How has COVID affected your creative abilities? Has it affected your creative abilities at all?
It definitely made us more adaptable, and it had to make us more stronger in a sense of this is reality now. How do we change and how do we adapt to this? I think I was just trying to definitely see the positives through it instead of trying to get the negatives put me down. Yeah.
Was there any problems that arose with the actual exhibit?
Yeah, quite a few. But just like getting challenged to experiment so far that to nearly break something is like the point of innovation. Like those little tiny things that we get to near breaking point, we're like, oh yes, that's really cool. Yes, we can use that.
What are some challenges as an emerging artist leaving university do you think are going to be faced?
I mean, it's just networking, really.
Yeah.
Just finding the right people, the right opportunities, and taking the right options to get where I want to go. I got an internship at a motion capture studio, so I can definitely see the connections in the internship that I've gotten. They've offered me a job, so I've got a job coming out of uni. But there's definitely a pathway for me to meet some of the people, the key creatives in the film industry who actually tell these big stories and get on some big sets, hopefully. So.
Towards the end of like your last performance, is there any sort of calm down things that you like to do at the end of the show and after all this rehearsal time and it's all over? Like, what are you feeling now?
Well, there were tears, I'll tell you that. Little bit of crying there. I think my immediate intuition was like, thank everybody in the production for starters, like Bridget, like all the other actors, like we spend every day with them, but it's like, thank you.
Has Sense Lab impacted the type of career you want to get out of your degree now?
I think without finding or like having these resources to like dive into other disciplines and like get skill base from that, I would not be as confident as I am going into the like future as a dancer.
Do you have any advice for any emerging artists coming into Museum Creative?
Definitely a big thing would be don't be scared to be you. Be real, be authentic, speak your truth, tell your story. And I feel like, especially as an emerging artist, we can get scared to tell our story and we might fake it, if that makes sense. But speak your truth and everything will come.
Amazing, thank you so much for being here today, buddy. And I can't wait to see what happens
my
in your
God.
future career after this and to see your project. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Yay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thanks
for having me.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap, guys. I hope you all learned something today because I definitely did, and I can't wait to see what's next. Bye.